Welcome to our channel Money Minded Online, the podcast where we explore the best strategies, tools, and stories for making money online. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, a seasoned hustler, or just curious about how to thrive in the digital economy, you're in the right place. Each week, we bring you actionable insights, inspiring interviews, and proven tactics to help you build wealth online. So sit back, take notes, and get ready to transform your future. Let's dive in.
All right. Welcome to the deep dive. We're going deep into the world of those billion-dollar online businesses. We're going to be looking at where they came from and how they got so big. And I think there are going to be some real surprises along the way.
You know, it's really incredible how much these companies have changed the way we live, like not just financially, but, you know, how we shop, how we talk to each other, even how we entertain ourselves.
It's true, yeah. And to kick things off, let's start with, well, a name everyone knows. Amazon. It started as just an online bookstore back in '94. And now, well, it's an absolute giant.
Huge. In 2023, they pulled in, get this, $500 billion in revenue.
That's insane. 500 billion. That's bigger than a lot of countries.
I know, right? And, you know, a big part of their success has to do with their focus on the customer experience. Like, think about it. They practically invented next day delivery.
And then, like, it wasn't enough. They created Amazon Prime.
Oh, yeah. Prime was a game changer.
Totally. I mean, it's almost like they knew we'd all become addicted to that instant gratification.
And the logistics behind it are mind-blowing. I mean, have you ever thought about how they actually get those packages to your doorstep so quickly?
It's crazy. Like, it's a massive operation, warehouses, algorithms, tons of people working behind the scenes. It's just...
Well, it's incredible.
And they're always innovating too, you know, like they're looking into drone deliveries and cashierless stores, constantly trying to make things even faster and easier for the customer.
It's amazing. Okay, so let's switch gears a bit and talk about a company that, well, empowers entrepreneurs, right? I'm talking about Shopify. Since they launched back in 2006, they've made it so easy for anyone to set up an online store.
Yeah, even if you have zero tech skills, which, let's be honest, a lot of people don't. And that was a huge market just waiting to be tapped into.
Yeah.
Shopify gave all these people with amazing ideas a platform to make it happen.
Yeah, and, you know, they really handle everything. The website design, payment processing, all that stuff. And the results speak for themselves. In 2023, Shopify made $6.5 billion in revenue. That's a clear sign that people want DIY e-commerce solutions, and they want them to be easy.
Exactly. But Shopify isn't just a storefront, right? It's a whole system, a whole ecosystem to help businesses grow. They provide marketing tools, analytics, help with shipping, even customer support.
It's this holistic approach that's really helped them stand out. It's like they've created a one-stop shop for anyone who wants to run an online business.
Okay, so next up, Google, the king of search. I mean, their interface is so simple, but behind it is this incredibly powerful algorithm, and it's become a global phenomenon.
I mean, think about it. How many times a day do you use Google? I know I use it constantly.
Same here, and their revenue model is just brilliant.
Google Ads, right. They made over $300 billion from ads in 2023 alone.
It's insane. And it all comes down to understanding what we're searching for online.
It's all about targeted advertising. While we're busy looking for stuff, Google is connecting businesses with their perfect customers.
Yeah, we get the information we need and businesses find their audience. It's a win-win.
And it's not just about basic keywords either. Google uses all this data, like our search history, where we are, our demographics, even the time of day.
It's like they're constantly refining this puzzle.
Yeah.
You know, trying to figure out how to connect the right ad with the right person at the right time.
Exactly. They're always learning, always adapting.
All right, now let's get into the world of social media and talk about Meta, what used to be Facebook. It's definitely been controversial over the years, but there's no denying how huge it is, how much of an impact it's had.
Oh, absolutely. Meta revolutionized social media, and with their massive user base and all that data they collect, they've become a real powerhouse in advertising.
$120 billion in ad revenue in 2023. And don't forget, their empire includes Instagram and WhatsApp now.
It's massive. They've created platforms where people spend hours and hours every day sharing everything about their lives. It gives Meta an incredibly detailed picture of their users, their interests, their preferences.
It's a little scary how much they know, but from a business perspective, it's incredibly valuable.
Oh, for sure. For businesses, that data is gold. They can target their ads with laser precision, reaching the exact people who are most likely to be interested.
Okay, let's move on to entertainment. We got to talk about Netflix. They totally transformed how we watch movies and TV shows.
Remember going to Blockbuster? That seems like ancient history now.
I know, right? And Netflix saw the writing on the wall, recognized that streaming was the future, and they went all in, created this amazing platform with tons of content, original shows, and those eerily accurate recommendations.
It's crazy how they know what you want to watch before you even do.
I know, it's like magic. But beyond the algorithms, Netflix is also great at creating original content. Some of the biggest hits in recent years have been Netflix originals.
And they're global, they operate in something like 190 countries, offering content in all sorts of languages. It's helped them attract over 230 million subscribers and pull in $31.6 billion in 2023.
It's remarkable. Okay, now for something a little different. Airbnb. They've really shaken up the travel industry. It's not about those generic hotel rooms anymore. It's about connecting with local hosts, getting a more authentic and often more affordable travel experience.
It's community-driven disruption at its best. And it works because of trust. Those ratings and reviews from both hosts and guests are so important. They create transparency and help people feel safe.
And it's not just about finding a place to sleep, it's about experiencing a new place, like a local. They even offer those experiences, where you can connect with people and do things you wouldn't find on your own.
It makes the world feel a little smaller,
It does. It's a win-win for everyone. Travelers get unique experiences, and hosts get to share their space and earn some extra income.
And it's made them a lot of money. They brought in $10 billion in 2023.
Speaking of shaking things up, let's talk about Uber. They completely changed how we get around.
Yeah, remember trying to hail a cab on a busy street corner? Uber came in and made it all so much easier.
2009, that's when it all started. Their app was so simple, so convenient. Suddenly, you could track your ride, pay through your phone. It was a game changer.
And it empowered drivers, They could set their own hours, be their own boss.
And Uber hasn't stayed still. They've moved into food delivery with Uber Eats and even freight services with Uber Freight.
They're constantly evolving, finding new ways to use their technology, which has obviously been a successful strategy.
For sure. They made a whopping $30 billion in 2023.
All right, let's head over to the other side of the world for a bit and talk about Alibaba, often called the Amazon of China.
Alibaba is fascinating. They've totally mastered e-commerce in China, and they're also huge in the B2B world.
B2B, yeah, that stands for business to business.
Oh, right, sorry. So they connect businesses with each other, not just with individual customers.
Exactly. Think of it as this massive online marketplace where manufacturers and suppliers in China can connect with businesses all over the world who need to buy their products.
So it's like a global matchmaker for businesses. That's amazing.
And they're incredibly successful. They made $133 billion in revenue in 2023.
Wow. That's a lot of matchmaking.
Yeah, they've got this really integrated approach, combining commerce, finance, and technology, making it seamless for businesses of all sizes to operate on a global scale.
Okay, let's move on to a company that's known for, beautiful designs and creating a whole world around its products. Apple.
It's not just about having great products, like those iPhones and Macs. It's the whole experience, how everything works together, the user-friendliness, the brand. It all comes together to create this loyal fan base.
Yeah, and their app store is a phenomenon in itself. It's not just about downloading apps. It's a gateway to, a whole universe of games, tools, everything.
And it's a huge source of revenue for Apple. Plus, they've been smart about branching out into services, things like iCloud, Apple Music, Apple Pay. Those are all becoming big money makers for them.
It's like they've created this closed ecosystem, and people love it. They want to be a part of it.
And it's incredibly lucrative. In 2023, Apple made a staggering $390 billion in revenue.
Okay, now let's dive into the world of enterprise software with Salesforce, the big player in cloud computing and CRM, which is...
Customer relationship management.
Right, CRM. They've really changed the game for businesses, helping them manage sales, marketing, all that stuff.
One of their smartest moves was recognizing the potential of the cloud early on. They made their software accessible to businesses of all sizes, no more needing those big clunky servers and complicated installations.
Yeah, that was a huge barrier for a lot of companies. And Salesforce is always innovating, constantly evolving to meet the needs of businesses in this ever-changing digital world.
They get it. Businesses need to be agile, they need to be able to adapt quickly, and their platform gives them the tools to do just that.
And it's been a very successful strategy. They made $31.3 billion in 2023.
It's clear that cloud-based solutions are here to stay.
All right, let's switch gears again and talk about something completely different. TikTok, the app that's, it's taken over the world.
TikTok is a fascinating case study. The power of user-generated content, those viral trends and that algorithm, it's just incredible.
It's amazing, yeah. And a little creepy how good their algorithm is at figuring out what you want to see.
It really is. And that's made them a powerhouse in advertising. They made $16.6 billion in ad revenue in 2023.
It's mind-blowing how much money there is in those short-form videos.
It shows you how powerful that format is, especially for reaching younger audiences. It's changed the advertising game.
Okay, time to talk about music, specifically Spotify. They've totally changed how we listen to music.
They've put millions of songs at our fingertips, plus podcasts, too. It's really revolutionized audio content.
Their model is brilliant. The
Yeah.
personalized recommendations, that freemium approach where you can try it out before you commit to paying.
You get hooked on those playlists, you discover new artists, and suddenly you're a subscriber.
I know, it happened to me too. Their playlists are just so good.
They really are. And it's all driven by data and algorithms, It's how they personalize the experience so well.
And it's clearly working. They made $13 billion in revenue in 2023.
And their user base is still growing strong.
Okay, before we wrap up this first part of our billion-dollar business deep dive, we got to talk about a company that might not be as well known, but it's incredibly important. Stripe.
They're kind of the unsung heroes of the online world, They handle payment processing for so many online businesses.
So they make sure that money flows smoothly and securely between businesses and their customers.
Exactly. They take care of all the complicated stuff, the security, fraud prevention, dealing with different payment methods and currencies.
It's essential, even if we don't see their logo everywhere.
Totally. And they're popular because they're so developer friendly. It's easy to integrate their system into a website.
And in 2023, they made an estimated $14 billion in revenue.
It shows you just how crucial online payment processing is to the whole e-commerce ecosystem.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here, but stay tuned because in the next part, we'll be diving into the fascinating story of how Walmart, the retail giant, made the leap into the digital world and became a major player online.
It's a story of adaptation and innovation, and it's pretty amazing what they've accomplished.
You won't want to miss it.
Welcome back to our deep dive.
So far, it's been a wild ride through the world of billion-dollar online businesses.
Yeah, from those massive e-commerce platforms like Amazon and Alibaba to those entertainment giants like Netflix and Spotify.
And we can't forget about the companies changing the way we work and travel, like Shopify, Uber, and Airbnb.
It's mind-boggling the scale of these companies and the impact they have.
Totally. But we have one more stop on our journey today, a retail giant that's made a seamless transition to the digital world, Walmart.
Walmart's story is fascinating, They've done what a lot of traditional retailers have struggled with. They've figured out how to blend their physical stores with their online presence.
And they've done it really well. I mean, they've created a truly unified shopping experience.
Yeah, and they've used what they already had, their stores, their distribution centers, their supply chain, all that stuff, to create this really smooth omnichannel experience for customers.
It's so convenient. You can shop online and pick up in store, order groceries for delivery, or just, do your regular shopping at the store.
Options, that's what it's all about. Meeting the customer wherever they are in their shopping journey.
And it's clearly been a winning strategy.
In 2023, Walmart made, get this, $610 billion in revenue.
$610 billion.
$610 billion. It's not a typo.
That's insane.
I know. It just shows you the power of combining a strong physical presence with a really solid online platform.
Walmart knew the retail world was changing, and they adapted. They saw that people wanted convenience, they wanted options, and they delivered.
Absolutely. And they didn't just dip their toes in the water, They went all in on e-commerce. They invested heavily in their website, their mobile app. They're even experimenting with drone delivery and AI.
They're not resting on their laurels, that's for sure.
No, they're constantly looking ahead, trying to innovate, to stay one step ahead in the retail game.
And that drive to innovate is something we've seen in all the companies we've talked about today. Whether it's Amazon's focus on the customer experience, Google's mastery of data and advertising, or Netflix's commitment to original content, these companies are always pushing the boundaries.
They're not afraid to take risks, to try new things, to adapt to whatever the market throws at them.
And that's what sets them apart.
That's what makes them so successful.
So, after exploring all these amazing companies, what can we take away from it all? What does it mean for us as individuals, as consumers, as entrepreneurs?
Well, I think one of the biggest lessons is that you have to embrace innovation, understand your customer, and build something that solves real problems.
It sounds simple, but it's not easy.
It's not, but those are the principles that drive success, whether you're starting a small business or running a giant corporation.
And you have to be able to adapt, right? The online world is constantly changing.
Absolutely. What works today might not work tomorrow. You have to be flexible, be willing to adjust your strategy, be open to new technologies and ideas.
Don't be afraid to experiment.
Exactly. You never know what might take off.
And remember, building a successful business takes time. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It takes dedication, persistence, and a willingness to constantly learn and grow.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, we'd love to hear from you. What are your thoughts?
Which of these company stories resonated with you the most? What surprised you? What lessons can you apply to your own life or work?
Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to keep the conversation going.
And make sure to join us for the final part of our deep dive, where we'll be exploring some of the challenges and ethical considerations that come with building these massive online businesses.
We'll also be looking at the future of the digital economy and what it might hold for entrepreneurs, consumers, and society as a whole.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the deep dive. It's the final part of our exploration into these billion-dollar online businesses.
And it's been quite a journey so far, hasn't it?
Yeah, we've seen some incredible success stories. But now it's time to get a little more critical.
Yeah. We got to look at the other side of the coin. It wouldn't be a true deep dive if we didn't talk about some of the challenges, the ethical considerations that come with businesses getting this big, this powerful.
Right, because it's easy to get caught up in the excitement, the innovation, the billion-dollar valuations.
Totally. But these companies have a huge impact on our lives, on society, even on the planet. And we need to talk about that.
Okay, so one of the biggest issues facing a lot of these companies is, data privacy.
It's something we touched on earlier with Google and Meta. I mean, they collect mountains of data about everything we do online. But it's not just them, it's a lot of these companies.
Yeah, like think about Amazon. They know everything about our shopping habits.
And Uber, all that data about where we go, how we travel.
It raises some big questions, right? Like, how is this data being used? Who has access to it? Are there enough protections in place to keep our information safe?
It's a tricky issue, and it's not going away anytime soon, especially as technology keeps advancing and these companies keep growing.
Okay, so another challenge these big online businesses face is the potential for market dominance.
Right. When a company gets as big as, say, an Amazon or a Google, it can be tough for smaller companies to compete.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like they're just squeezing everyone else out.
And that can lead to less innovation, fewer choices for consumers.
And it also makes you think about the power these companies have, how do we make sure they're not abusing that power? How do we keep the playing field level?
These are questions that everyone is trying to figure out right now. Governments, regulators, even consumers. It's a constantly evolving landscape.
And while we're talking about impact, we can't forget about the environment.
Right. The rise of e-commerce has definitely had an environmental cost. More packaging waste, more carbon emissions from deliveries.
It's the downside of all that convenience.
And while some companies like Amazon are trying to be more sustainable, with things like recyclable packaging and carbon offsets, there's still a lot of work to do.
It's going to take a real collective effort to balance the convenience of online shopping with the need to protect the planet. Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about the future. What trends do you see shaping the world of online business in the years to come?
Well, one that's already having a huge impact is artificial intelligence.
AI. It's everywhere these days.
Yeah, from personalized recommendations to fraud detection to customer service, it's changing how businesses operate.
And it's only going to get bigger, right?
Absolutely. AI has the potential to really personalize our experiences online, make things more efficient, maybe even create entirely new ways of doing business.
It's pretty exciting and a little bit scary all at the same time.
And then there's the whole mobile revolution. I mean, more and more people are doing everything on their phones, browsing, shopping, you name it.
Yeah, it's like our phones are extensions of ourselves at this point.
Exactly. And if a business isn't optimized for mobile, they're missing out on a huge chunk of the market.
And then there's the metaverse. It's still early days, but it has the potential to completely change how we interact with the internet.
Imagine shopping in virtual reality or attending a concert in a virtual world.
It sounds like science fiction, but it might not be that far off.
And businesses are already starting to explore the possibilities. It's a whole new frontier. Okay, so before we wrap up this deep dive, let's take a minute to think about what we've learned. What are the key takeaways from all these amazing companies, both the good and the bad?
Well, one thing that really stands out is that the digital world is constantly changing. It's fast-paced, it's unpredictable.
And businesses have to be able to adapt. They can't afford to stand still.
Another big lesson is that it's all about the customer. You have to understand their needs, their pain points, what they're looking for.
And you have to create something that solves real problems, that makes their lives better.
And it has to be easy to use. Nobody wants to struggle with a clunky website or a complicated app.
User experience is everything. And finally, we have to remember that all of this comes with responsibilities. As businesses grow and technology advances, we need to be mindful of the ethical implications.
Like, how are we using data? Are we protecting people's privacy? Are we creating a fair and competitive market? Are we being responsible stewards of the environment? These are all important questions to ask.
It's not just about profits. It's about building businesses that are sustainable, ethical, and contribute to a better world. That's the challenge and the opportunity we face in the digital age.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground, from the humble beginnings of these online giants to their current dominance, and we've talked about both the triumphs and the challenges they face.
It's been a fascinating journey, and we hope you've enjoyed it.
And hopefully it's sparked some new ideas and perspectives. Remember, the digital world is always evolving, so stay curious, stay informed, and keep exploring.
Maybe one day we'll be doing a deep dive into your billion-dollar idea.
Thanks
for
tuning
listening
into our channel Money Minded Online. If you found value in today's episode, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Share this episode with friends who are looking to make money online and join the community. Drop a comment below with your favorite tip or takeaway. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep hustling and making moves. See you in the next episode.